Well, a happy new year to you all, and a happy new year to Manchester City, especially because Janusz Michallik, champions find a way, and that's exactly what they did.
They certainly did, and you'd have to say that this Arsenal performance deserved a lot more than that, right? I mean, the first half, I think I said that it was a statement of 45 minutes from Arsenal that needed confirmation. I don't know how I follow up with that, because I think it confirmed some things in terms of progress, in terms of how well they played against Manchester City, how much pressure they've put them on or under, I should say. But in the end, it's still a loss. So I'm still going to, from the beginning, I'm going to say this is really, really good from Arsenal. I think, bodes well for the future. I think we already knew that, but we needed to see that against a good team. A good team, which, by the way, they haven't beaten the top teams just yet. But in the end, it doesn't matter, because all it counts is the result.
Arsenal, when they had the ball in the first half, were exceptional, but they moved it forward quickly. And I'm not sure Manchester City have had a test like that. And I thought when Bukayo Saka scored the opening goal, Arsenal deserved that.
Oh, absolutely. Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli were absolutely outstanding. I mean, I don't even know how to choose which one was better. They were both doing a great job. I think from the beginning, we knew that Saka against Nathan Ake, that's an advantage towards Saka. But I think on the other side, I thought Gabriel Martinelli continues to show how good he is and how great he very well may be in the future as well. So it was tremendous. I think in terms of possession, it was good. I know if you look at the stats in the end, the possession isn't great because of course, Arsenal play with 10 men, but I thought it was just tremendous. Maybe we didn't see, too many great chances, but I just think that youthful exuberance, sprinkled with some experience was very, very good. I think that progress without Arteta on the sideline was great to watch.
Okay, a couple of penalty incidents to discuss. Let's first of all talk about the Arsenal penalty that wasn't given. Do you think it should have been with Ederson's challenge?
Well, I mean, I look at that and I think, to me, it's a clear, obvious, there's no obvious mistake from the referee. It could have gone either way. Had he pointed towards the spot, I think the VAR would not overturn that. It's 50-50, too close to call. And I think, we get frustrated with this clear and obvious mistake. I want this out, by the way, and I've said this very, very often, but in this instance, I think it was so close that I think that the decision was correct.
That's a really good point, because you've just mentioned those two words, right? And everyone knows them now, clear and obvious. When it takes 6 or 7 replays and you're still not sure if it's a right, that's not a clear and obvious error. So I think you're spot on. If he gives a penalty, it's not getting overturned. If he doesn't give a penalty, which is what happened, it's not getting overturned. Now, the Manchester City penalty, was it correctly awarded eventually by a conversation between Stuart Atwell and the Australian VAR official?
I think it was. I think it was ultimately. I think Bernardo Silva knew exactly what he was doing. That's for sure. He's experienced. But I tell you what, Granit Xhaka is just as experienced, and he should have known better in this one, right? We can discuss this, the Bernardo Silva contact and all that. I think there was contact high. But most importantly, you look at Granit Xhaka, who was beaten for that ball, right? I mean, his legs were not moving. He extends that leg. He invites the conversation. The hold, of course, we'll talk about, but I don't think it was about the hold. It was about the contact low, and was there. And, when you flat-footed like that against Bernardo Silva, who's going to go around you, I mean, he could have stayed on his feet. He didn't. That's the modern penalty as we see it right now. That's what's going to happen. And I think for that reason, Granit Xhaka has so much experience. He's got to know better, right? He knows Bernardo Silva. He knows what he's going to do. And I think he needed to defend that better. So unfortunately, I think that's the correct call.
That's interesting. You say you don't think it's been given for the hold. You think it's been given for the contact beforehand? Because Man City fans will say it's deservedly given. Arsenal fans will say he was already on his way down when the hold took place, but you think the contact before that merited the penalty? Yeah,
I think, when you look at the thighs high, yes. I mean, when you extend a leg like this and you're out of balance, you're flat-footed, you're beaten, right? That leg is an obstacle, right? And Bernardo Silva has shown his experience there. Now, we can dispute that. I mean, should he have stayed on? But we know what's happening in football right now. And as I've said, had this been some young defender, maybe it's a different conversation. because because of the lack of experience. But Xhaka knows, and I think when you look in the end, Mark, the game was lost just by that and by Gabriel. I mean,
okay.
that to me is a focal point.
Let's talk about the red card. First of all, it's a second yellow. The first yellow card is for kicking the spot, roughing it up a little bit, as Aaron Ramsey did when the ball was at the other end. He's got to know better now, regardless of whether you think it is or it isn't. It should or it shouldn't have been a yellow card. When you are on a yellow card, you can't do what he did. He can't have any complaints about the second yellow, but stupidity cost him the first one and frustration.
And I mean, look, if we're honest and we're trying to be neutral here, right? I mean, so much is going to be said about the referee, about the VAR, about, we've mentioned already how well they played and Arsenal played and they deserve something. But this is really the focal point, because this was stupidity. And here, experience or inexperience doesn't matter. I think he should know, when it happens, what happens on the spot. And then after that, because really that was the subsequent, right? Let's not forget the miss just before that by Gabriel Martinelli, right? That's got to be 2-1.
Yeah.
It isn't. It's a free kick, and subsequently we have a second yellow, and this is inexcusable. This is truly, I think, what cost Arsenal the points, because they were on their last legs, and I want to give them so much credit, because even with 10 men, they continue to pose problems for Manchester City. But you could see in the end with the substitution, I mean, Bukayo Saka could barely get off the pitch right there.
Yeah. So
I think, Gabriel has put Arsenal in a tough spot. And look, I'm not going to sit here and, I guess my point is, if you're Mikel Arteta, if you start thinking about this game, you realize how big of a mistake that was really from him. And he's been strong in everything that he's done here, right? I mean, if you look at how he's dealt with Ozil, how he's dealt with Aubameyang, I'm of course not saying that Gabriel's got to be off the team, but I really think he needs to make a statement quietly with him here, because to me, he's lost the points for Arsenal here. A draw would have been more than fair for Arsenal. Manchester City had 2 shots on target, 2 goals.
Well, Gabriel misses the League Cup tie, or the Cup tie in midweek, and is back for the next Premier League game, or is available. So we'll find out next Premier League game if he's selected or not. Let's get to the key moment of one of the key moments of the match, the ultimate moment of the match that decided it. And when you've got a team like Manchester City that spread the goals around like they do, they've got more different goal scorers in the Premier League than anybody else. Maybe it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that it's someone like Rodri, but for me, he's like the conductor of the orchestra. He can be the catalyst, but normally that's in the middle of the park. He popped up when it really mattered, and onside against Laporte. Pep Guardiola, I think Janusz would have probably thought, you know what, a goal down, a point, that's probably okay. But then to get 3, you saw what it meant to the City players and their celebrations.
No, I don't think Pep Guardiola or Manchester City would have thought the point is okay. I mean, they know the position they're in. This is a specific moment, right, where they were losing a game. You and I were previewing this game, and we said that City are going to lose the points, and we're talking about the title. Is it decided or not, right? I mean, this is obvious with Chelsea and Liverpool coming up on Sunday. This was an opportunity, and struggling like this with an extra man. I always knew they were going to go after until they find the 3 points, because the title may be decided this weekend, really, right? I mean, quietly, I thought that maybe Arsenal are going to help all of us to continue the drama and the mystery of the Premier League, so the title race goes until the end. But I knew that City were going to go after. And again, I mean, a lot of tiredness. I mean, a little bit of luck, the way the ball popped up for Rodri. I think Rob Holding should have probably done a little bit better on the cross and his header. But I think there were a lot of tired legs, and at that stage, if you're Arsenal, it's easy to lose concentration, but a little bit of luck. But as you said, champions often find a way.
Finally, Janusz, what was your biggest takeaway from what you saw?
The biggest takeaway, seriously, it's Arsenal, where they are. I was waiting for that. And the result aside, I think I saw confirmation of that first 45 minutes, the fighting spirit, the hope that is back. I think these supporters, after they get past the fact what happened with the penalties, the red cards, and everything else that goes around, I think Arsenal supporters already would have had hope of top four. Now they see that they can play against the top teams as well, even if they can't win it yet. But I think we're going to be talking about Arsenal in the top four towards the end of the season. They'll be in the fight.
Plenty plaudits for the Gunners, but it's the points that go to City.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.